It's time for the Tony Lewis Show. Learn all about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is sponsored by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosman Communications. Go Wildcats!
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
And welcome to this week's Tony Lewis Show. And Coach, last week you took on our arch rival, Vincent's Lincoln. You beat them 43-13, and I'm sure there's a lot of happy people in Jasper about that. Why don't you recap that game for us?
Yeah, I thought overall we played extremely well on both sides of the ball. I thought Coach Shelton had the defense ready to go. We gave up a touchdown on their second drive. We had opportunities there in that second drive to get off the field and just couldn't do it. And they scored a late touchdown on our JV with their starters in. But to hold them to what I guess was 13 points was a great defensive effort. And I thought offensively, Grant Young came back from injury and kind of sparked us there in the first half. He had 2 touchdown passes to Will Wallace. I thought our offensive line really controlled the line of scrimmage for most of the game. And, Jace Perkins ran well. Carter Holdsworth ran well. Those 2 guys we rotated in. And also Landon Fleck came in late, had a touchdown. So overall, we have 15 goals, offensive and defensive and special teams goals, and I can't remember us ever getting all 15, but we did get all 15 for the Vincennes game. So to do that with a rivalry game, it's a good time to do it.
And you said about Grant Young coming back, and Braylon Bear's been back, but he was spectacular again on Friday night, and it's nice to see all these people getting healthy at the same time.
Yeah, Braylon had a couple, 1 or 2 touchdowns for us, and played well. He played well. We had a couple interceptions by Mitchell Leinenbach and one by Braylon, I believe. We forced, I believe, four turnovers and also had a safety defensively. So overall, we played extremely well. We're improving weekly, and that's our goal. It hadn't always happened over the last 3 years, but this year, because of all the injuries, a hidden positive in that is we've developed a lot of depth, and a lot of different kids are playing, which allows us to hopefully get better every week because more kids are playing, and they're also understanding the 3 things that we've been emphasizing for the last month, which is do the little things right, play together, and be physical.
And, going into sectional, with a winning record, second place in the conference, and a 4-game winning streak, more importantly.
Yeah, we feel like we're playing some of our best football of the year, which we're obviously going to need to do. We got the bye, which hopefully lets us get a little healthy this week as we practice for the winner of the Bossy Memorial game.
And we're back on the Tony Lewis Show right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwest Media and Sports Network, powered by Melvin Bushman Communications.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild! He just won the game! Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
And welcome back to the Tony Lewis Show, and we're joined by WJTS play-by-play man and color analyst Craig Schneider and Bob Wells. Going to the Sectional 24, Class 4A, a sectional that you guys are well aware of. You guys have seen every team that's in the sectional. In Game 1, you've got Evansville Memorial versus Bossy. Game 2, you've got Boonville versus Harrison. In Game 3, you've got Evansville Central versus Evansville Rights. And then in Game 4, Jasper drew the bye. They'll be playing the winner of Memorial and Bossy. What do you think about Jasper's role in this?
I think one of the key things with this, and actually I saw an interview with Grant Young after the game where he was just talking, because, again, it's great to have Grant Young back in action, and he proved that in that win over Vincennes with 2 touchdown passes and 1 rushing. And, again, just to have his leadership back on the field. Max Butel was outstanding in his relief role, basically, helping the Wildcats on a 3-game winning streak. But getting Grant Young is so important, especially once you get into the sectional tournament, because, Grant led us to that big win over Memorial to start the season, 34-10. And so to have him back for a potential matchup against Memorial, I think is going to be key. But the other thing, too, is having that bye, it gives you 2 weeks to prepare, because Memorial's going to beat Bossy. I mean, let's just face it. That's both those teams play on that same field, and it's going to be, even though it says a Bossy home game, it's a Memorial home game as well. And so they're going to win that game, I think, fairly easily, because they're playing outstanding football right now. But the key thing with that bye week is you get 2 weeks to prepare for. You're going to expect Memorial, so I'm sure that's what Jasper's going to work on. But also to get guys healthy, and, guys like Grant Young and others. We got Jackson Bauer back on the offensive line. And, again, just get everybody kind of healthy and feeling good, and just kind of catch your breath before you face Memorial in a couple of weeks.
I think getting Bauer back was huge. It just seemed in the Vincennes game. Now, even though Vincennes has come in with a few losses into the Jasper game, they've been in every game. Castle, was a tight game. Wright had to score late to win. It's just they played solid games. And their defense has that 6'5", 295-pound Patton over the nose guard. Uvalar, because Bauer came back, was able to handle him more one-on-one, and there wasn't so much help going to the guy that was substituting for Bauer. And the other big key is Bear. when Bear came back against Mater Dei, you could tell that he wasn't 100%. But I think over these last few games, going on the road, especially at North and going on the road at Castle, Bear has played extremely well, which allowed their defensive backs and Atkins and those guys to start playing more little one-on-one coverage.
Oh, yeah, we definitely saw that against Vincennes, too, because, you know, coming into that game, you're looking at Xander Hunt, and it's like, man, we got to keep him under control. Well, we got great pressure on him and forced him to do things that he normally is not used to doing. But, you know, we picked him off 3 times with I think Bear had one, and also 2 by Mitchell Leinenbach. And, you know, the thing is, when we intercept him, he also had a fumble loss on that first possession. You know, we just put so much pressure. But I think where Jasper's doing so well, especially in the last 2 weeks, is that we're taking their top players out. You know, Angelo St. Louis against North only rushed for like 65 yards and basically didn't really get into any type of groove, and then just dominating Xander Hunt against, you know, in the Vincennes game. And so Jasper's going to have to do the same thing. But the thing is, Memorial has so many weapons that, you know, you can't key just on one player.
Not to mention they have Coach Hurley over there.
Oh, yeah.
Year in, year out, you and I are constantly discussing Memorial may have a little bit of struggle at the beginning of the season, whether it's due to injury or what have you. But at the end of the year, those guys are always there. And Memorial, the last 2 games that we played, and we expected them to play last year until the upset with Northview took place, Memorial year in, year out has given Jasper fits, especially when we're down there at Enloe. The last 2 games, Jasper's won those. They had some key injuries last year in their first game down at Enloe to where Jasper was able to win that game. But and we even played back in our day, and we played Memorial. They're one of the hardest-hitting teams you'll ever face.
No doubt.
And, you know, when I went to the game the other night, the Jasper Vincennes game, I got to see Braylon's brother, Easton, and he told me Braylon's more of a long jumper, not much of a sprinter as Easton was. And after seeing Braylon run the ball a couple times, I thought, I think I want to have a sprint between Braylon and Easton.
Yeah, you know, and that's the nice thing is the Wildcats have been able to get him involved in the offense too. I mean, he's been just on some of those counter plays, and you know, he's turned them into touchdowns. So that's another boost. You know, you talk about his defensive ability, but yeah, there's no doubt that he brings a lot to the Wildcat offense, and they're going to need every bit of that against Memorial.
When we were playing Vincennes and the game was still in question because it was early, Jasper was faced with a 3rd and forever. And they tossed the ball out to Bear, and he made some moves that he hasn't been making all year, which leads me to believe he's 100% back. And he got us that first down. Jasper went down, we scored, and the game was just never in doubt at that point. So with him coming back, that's huge. It also allows Kabrick, who's just what you call your utility man. He can do a little bit of everything. He punts the ball for us, he kicks the ball for us, does what he needs to do. So I honestly, I know Wrights is the class, but the way Jasper's playing, I know Memorial's a different team, but I think Jasper, due to injury and guys having to respect other positions that they're not comfortable in, I think Jasper's a different team too.
I totally agree with you because, you know, you take a look at the teams in the sectional, you know, you could say Rice is the favorite because they pretty well ran the table, obviously. It's 9-0 record, and they've beaten everybody. But, you know, Memorial's riding high right now. I mean, they're playing great ball. Jasper's riding high with a 4-game winning streak. Big win. And think about that 4-game winning streak with a freshman quarterback and 3 of those games on the road. To pull that off is phenomenal. I mean, honestly, what was the standings? Right, second place, 3-way tie between Mater Dei, Memorial, and Jasper. But, you know, again, you take away that hiccup against Harrison, hey, we're second in the conference.
You also, you know, bringing up that point, it's also very important to talk about Coach Lewis and what he's done this year. It's all the coaches, if you're honest with yourself, will face the problems that Coach Lewis faced throughout the course of the season. However, when it comes to Coach Lewis, it seemed like every issue was thrown at him at one time. He brought up 3 freshmen in Elliott Smith, Max Butel, and Ross Dawkins. You don't hear about that at Jasper. You usually hear it at schools that has just are fighting for sheer numbers to actually put being out on the field. What
Right.
Coach Lewis has done this year and making the bold decisions, the adjustments Coach Selton has made as far as Jasper is still playing man-to-man out on the receivers, but he's getting some help on top. I think this coaching staff, led by Coach Lewis, has done an outstanding job this year.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But, don't forget about Boonville, too. Boonville's 6-3 on the season, so, they've done some pretty good things. They've got some really good athletes on their team, too. So, you look at how many, 2, 4, 6, 7 teams in the tournament. 4 of them have had outstanding seasons. Plus, Harrison's playing better football, even though, their record doesn't really say much about it. They're 3 with just 3 wins. But, again, I just think it's an outstanding tournament. There's going to be some first-round easy wins for Memorial and Rice, I believe. But, I think that game, Boonville taking on Harrison, that could be an interesting one, honestly.
Yeah, I think that if Jasper can go and keep their head straight and be disciplined and get that win at Memorial, Rice, if we would face them in the championship game, if I recall correctly, that game would be at Jasper.
Yeah, I think you would be right. So,
and the people always talk about that bye week. You get to rest your players, but I think that with the injuries that Jasper's had this year, and it's great that they're overcoming those. It's great to have that extra week though, just to rest those guys.
No question about it, because again, Grant Young, he looked good, but again, you just got to have that one game to kind of knock some rust off and all that. But, just maybe some things that were bothering, because he didn't play the second half. So, Max Butel took over, and really we didn't miss a beat against Vincennes. But yeah, there's just some guys that just need to be taken care of and tweaked up a little bit. And hopefully everybody's 100% by the time we get there on October 28th.
Yeah, with Grant Young playing that first half, I have to imagine that it was just, as you said, knocking the rust off, but letting him go out and play hard that first half, pulling him out of that second. Butel, you're able to do that because Butel has been playing so well. And then at the end of the game, see where Grant Young's at. Are you feeling good? I don't know if the game is much closer because Vincennes gave a lot of gifts to Jasper if Coach Lewis stretches him out. But I got to think the game plan was to put Young in the first half and then go.
And, I've asked Coach Lewis about this last few guys, because you guys have both been broadcasting for quite a while. Have you ever seen so many scoop and scores in your life in one season?
Oh, man, not that I remember. And, unfortunately, we were hurt by the one against Harrison. That was, one of the key plays in the game there. But, the scoop and scores, I think it's, I think defenses are taught to, hey, get that ball out of their hands. Let's strip the football. So, it's one thing to make the hit, but also I think that teams work on that a lot for these days to, not only make the hit, but, man, try to draw that ball loose or strip it away from them. So, I think that's got a lot to do with it.
I think the size and speed of the players today, especially on the lines, usually, back in our day, you either had size or you had speed. The combination of those. Also, I think a lot of it, if you look at Jasper's win streak, the one thing that we've stopped doing is turning the ball over in the bunches that we have. Holsworth has done an outstanding job of protecting the ball over the last 4 games. I think he's playing his best ball of the season right now, but we're not giving them really their opportunities that they had early in the season just by not protecting the ball. And so you put the ball down and you get these guys that are 260 pounds and they still run a 4.5 40. They can get to the other end zone in a hurry.
Yeah, and one other thing, too, with, Carter Holsworth, we tried to put him in the quarterback position once Grant went down and all that, but he's more comfortable in that tailback spot. And, there's no doubt that there's been a huge emphasis for him to protect the football. But he's also not having to carry as much of the load as what he was earlier in the season because Perkins has come on so strong and played well. You got Braylon Bear back. Charlie Cabrick's done some things carrying the football, but, we'll also give it to Ross Dawkins if needed, and Landon Fleck can come off the bench and play well, too. So I just think the Wildcats, I know we've got our 2 primary fullbacks that they alternate in there, but there's a lot of weapons with that rushing attack. And then plus with Grant Young back, you got a quarterback that can run the football as well now.
I think it's easy to see that Holsworth, although with the experience of the season, he's gotten better, but he's also gotten better because of just what you said, Jace Perkins coming in and just doing what he's been doing. Holsworth wants to get a few more snaps. These guys are young. They don't have to rest like us old guys. Yeah. They want to get a few more snaps. He's got to raise his game. So there's been different times to where Coach Lewis has been riding the hot back. And I think the way Perkins has really raised his game has caused Holsworth to raise his game.
Oh, I agree. And don't forget, again, the offensive line has just been outstanding during this winning. Again, Jackson Bauer back in action, but, Jesse Uvalor, Griffin Kyle, Evan Nardoff, Carson Kelly, even the tight ends with Will Wallace getting in there and Cameron Howard. So, again, that offensive line's been solid. But, again, expecting to play Memorial in a couple of weeks, you're going to have all phases of the game on top of things. So, again, offense, defense, special teams, everybody's going to have to play well.
I agree 100%. There is no tomorrow, and these seniors have to understand that the energy they brought in the Vincennes game, because even Coach Rollweather had told me after the game that he was surprised by the outcome because of how competitive Vincennes has been. Mm-hmm. You have to take into this tournament the same attitude that you took into senior night and go after it. There will be no gifts with these teams. They're playing too well right now.
No doubt.
Well, guys, we look forward to many more quality calls on WJTS this season for you guys.
Same here. We got at least one more, but hopefully we got plenty more after that. So, again, gonna be a fun one on October 28th.
Yeah, this is one of the best sectionals around, and I'm excited, and I'm really looking forward to Jasper moving down the field.
And we're back on the Tony Lewis Show right after these messages from our sponsors. You're Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communication.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
You have been listening to The Tony Lewis Show. Join us every week to learn more about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is brought to you by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. See you next week.
When you think sporting goods, think no further than All Star Sports in Ferdinand. Custom embroidery, screen printing, team uniforms, sports equipment, and sports apparel and shoes. We have it all. Give Brad a call today at 812-367-1618 or visit them in the Country Plaza Shopping Center in Ferdinand. All Star Sports is open Monday through Friday 10 to 7 and Saturday 9 to 4. All Star Sports, when you're thinking sporting goods.
And welcome back to the Tony Lewis Show. And Coach, as we all know it, if you don't know, you live under a rock. That we got to be by this week, and tell us a little bit about what do you guys do during a bye week?
Well, we're actually practicing in the morning. We're Monday, which as we speak, we watched film today in the film room, and then we also lifted right after that, and then went to the field to practice till about 11. Tomorrow we'll practice from 8 to probably about 9:30, 9:45. Wednesday we'll lift again in the morning, and then we'll practice from about 9 to 10:30. And Thursday we'll practice from 8 to 9:45 as well. And then we're going to give the kids Friday off, and the coaches will go scout the Bossy versus Memorial game on Friday.
And I guess you also get to scout out where you'll be playing. I think if whoever we play, we'll be playing at Bossy Field, right?
Yes. So we'll go to Bossy Field. We've been there several times. Our kids are used to it, and either way, whether we're playing Bossy or playing Memorial, we're going to be at Bossy Field. And again, we're just trying to, perfect some things. And next week, we've got the bye week this week, and it's kind of we won't physically get after the kids a lot, but next week, heading into the game, we'll get back into being more physical and ramping up our intensity in practice.
Well, Coach, until we talk to you again next week to see who we play, you take it easy and work them hard.
Hey, thank you very much. Go Wildcats.
And you've been listening to Tony Lewis Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Brooks for Communications. We'll talk to you next week.